Hello, you just reached MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. We're currently tying up phone lines and burning through cell minutes to get you closer to the guys on top of the boxes and over the wall down on Pit Road. Thank you for holding. You are now being connected to your hosts, Sammi Jo Francis and Rocko Williams.
Welcome to another edition of MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. We're your hostesses with the mostesses and hosts with the most.
The most.
Sammi Jo Francis and
Rocko Williams here.
Yes, so before we go any further, we've got breaking news that just happened this morning.
Just broke.
Not so good for Kevin Harvick because he has been docked 40 points and his crew chief has been suspended because of a rear spoiler.
And there's many factors that can contribute to that rule. You ask yourself this question: if it passed race inspection, what was different? You can't put on a spoiler in the middle of the race, but why did it come back when they took the car to the R&D center?
Sure.
And basically, the NASCAR does a more detailed inspection when the cars go back, so there might be some things, and we don't know exactly what was wrong with the spoiler, but it could be anything from the material used to maybe it was bent during the race. Whatever the case may be, we don't know, but that is a costly penalty.
To start the season like you did, and then to have that happen.
I mean,
yikes.
Exactly, because they were sitting pretty. They had their ticket punched to go to Homestead.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking about the pit crew, because at the same time,
because that's what we do. We think about the pit crew.
We've done what we had to do to get to Homestead.
Right.
We were going to Phoenix.
How devastating is that if that happens to you as a crew member?
We'll see how it goes Sunday. But I know already the wick has been turned up, because you thought you were going into Phoenix thinking about Homestead, and you could kind of cruise and just be relaxed.
Rest easy. Yeah.
But no, when you have to race your way in now and you have the possibility of being eliminated, especially after the season that those guys have had.
Right.
They've had a very drama-filled season on the pit crew side of things, with guys being moved off that team and around that team. And
so does this take the wind out of their sails?
I don't think it takes the wind out of its sails to a team like that, but it is definitely motivating to the point where when the news broke earlier this morning, you got some guys that stood up like, all right.
So ISM Raceway is going to be a good race.
It was going to be a good race anyway, but now we have more stuff to look forward to.
But now Kevin Harvick's going to be a little more motivated.
You think, Sam?
Just a tiny bit. Okay, so there was a field trip yesterday.
Yes, there was.
I didn't get my permission slip signed, so I didn't get to go. But what did you do?
We went to the NASCAR Technical Institute.
This is my souvenir.
We brought you a hat back and was blown away by their facilities. I had no idea.
Where is this place?
It's in Mooresville, off
okay.
exit 36, and I had an idea what the NASCAR Institute, Technical Institute was, but had no idea of how involved it was with the students and with job placement, with accountability, and creating these future mechanics for the sport, not even just in the sport of NASCAR, but in general.
Yeah,
they have
I see commercials for it all the time.
They have a great program there, and it was John Dodson, Mr. John Dodson, who is the vice president.
Was that your tour guide?
Yes, he was, he was awesome. And this guy, besides the natural historian that he is, he's worked with the likes of Rusty Wallace, won championships, tons of races. And when you go into his office, first of all, when you go to his office, you feel like you're in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
like this,
I bet.
This guy has been there, done that. His family's been into racing, and it shows in the program that they designed there at the NASCAR Technical Institute, and the students that I met. It was an awesome facility.
All right, well, now that you've heard about it, let's be about it. Let's see that video.
Flagship campus is Phoenix, Arizona. So we started with one campus and one class 50 years ago, 55 years ago. And now we have 15,000 students in school every day across the nation, training automotive technicians, diesel technicians, mainly transportation industry. And at this campus, it's exclusive because we have a NASCAR training program. So it's not just NASCAR you come for, you're still going to be an automotive technician no matter what. You can work on cars and work at a Hendrick dealership, or a Ford dealership. But we provide the industry of NASCAR with primarily all their technicians, tire changers, pit crew. We have an advisory council every year, so we invite the race teams in, we invite CNC training, and they come, they review curriculum and say, hey, we're changing this, let's try this. We also work close with NASCAR and you know, all the officials, because they hire from us too. Some of your officials are NASCAR Tech grads. We have 34 manufacturing partners, all those on the wall there, and that is our customer. So we got morning sessions. The students have been here this morning. So they're here on time, and then they're going to go through class to 12:45 and 1 today, and then they'll release at 2 different times. We stagger that for the amount of students we have. And they're going to go to part-time jobs. And then this afternoon at 2 o'clock, we're going to start evening class, and all those students coming in are at the same part-time jobs right now. Unemployment in Iredell County, Southern Iowa, is like 0.3. One of my favorite statistics here is we sell about $50,000 a year in Mountain Dew.
Okay.
So that can tell you our demographics around 19 years old. We sell $40,000 in Mountain Dew, so $10,000 in Mountain Dew, rocket ship Mountain Dew, whatever you can do to run your heart rate up. But here's the cool thing about that. We take zero profit from our venue. All the profit from this turns into student scholarship money, so the students are helping future students, or it's current students who might have a setback, a hardship, that might need $400 or $500, who've been displaced. Some of them, I know one that had their place caught on fire at Christmas. So this is the kind of money we'll take to help students like that right there, but we take none of that profit. So what's your future goals?
Work at dealership.
Leadership? Soon. Forrest dealer, he wants to wear a Rolex.
Now that I'm here, like I'm thinking about I just want to build engines because it's more easier. I have the patience for that. Yeah. And I like moving around a lot, so I feel like just being in that space and me building an engine would be like the great spot for me. Yeah.
Now, after meeting these individuals, do you think it's going to be hard for me to find jobs?
No, I don't think so at all.
Not at all.
See the new logo. Got the new logo and a lot of experience in putting this hat on. That's how it looks. Matches the glass. Brings out my eyes. There we go. NASCAR Tech.
I had to say, you look very appealing with that. Very good feeling. Here, get a picture of this, Tony. We got to do it.
Yeah. That's on the number 24. And this is MRN. There it is.
Awesome.
Well, it looks like a successful field trip.
No, it was a great experience, just seeing the students and seeing that they had all the resources necessary to get them to where they needed to be.
I like that they said it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to work for NASCAR, but you will have your automotive skills.
I mean, everything from engine building to fabricating to suspension to programming to CNC machining.
He's just making up words.
You're learning a trade. So when you know a trade and you have a skill set, you can take that and apply it to real
And
life
I feel like that
work.
guy is invested in his students.
I think so.
He wants them to succeed. So thank you for letting us tour the Institute.
Absolutely. NASCAR Technical Institute.
That's right. Okay, well, coming up, we have a special show for you. Lots of videos, but we also have the missus on the show.
Your missus?
No, not my missus. Your missus. She'll be my work wife by association.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back with more MRN Crew Call right after this.
Grunt style. The American fighting spirit is in everything we make. We are 500 patriots and veterans strong, bringing clothing manufacturing back to the United States of America. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We are Grunt Style, and this we'll defend. Get yours at gruntstyle.com.
Chris Crockett, straight from the NASCAR stands, here with another member of our Toyota racing family, Jason.
Hi there.
Oh, you seem impatient.
Oh, well, I've been holding it in for a while.
A while?
Since it started.
The race?
No, the season.
Wow, guess you don't want to miss any action.
Nope, I don't.
Oh, did you just see Denny Hamlin take the lead?
I haven't taken my eyes off him.
Jason, you don't look so good. Can I offer you some water?
Absolutely not.
NASCAR and Toyota Racing. With a family like this, who knows the places we'll go in the playoffs? Learn more at toyotaracing.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Join MRN as we travel through the life of NASCAR's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway, leading the pack.
I won races that I never thought I'd win.
From growing up under the Earnhardt name to super speedway wins to Whiskey River, we dive into everything Dale Jr.
He's Rain Man for NASCAR history.
You know, we weren't the typical family that got to sit down to dinner together.
Tune in to Junior's Journey, available on iTunes for download only on the Motor Racing Network. Thank you for holding. Now back to MRN Crew Call with Rocko and Sammi Jo.
Welcome back to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. I'm Sammi Jo Francis.
And I'm Rocko Williams.
And we are turning into a YouTube show. That's what we're doing, because there's so many videos. But because the season is coming to an end.
Yes, it is.
Very sad. But it means...
It flew by.
Yeah, but you never look back. You always got to look forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are some rule changes.
Yeah, there are.
As dramatic as last year's rule changes?
No, I don't think it
They're not going to kill you.
No, it's not as dramatic. We're not going to lose a crew member. I don't believe we're going to add a crew member. But
Fingers crossed.
There's 2 races left with Phoenix and Homestead. And you know who your champion, you know your possibility of who are going to be your champions.
Right.
You know, but what about the teams who aren't in the chase?
Right.
And even the teams that are, in the playoffs, and even the teams that are in the playoffs, you're thinking about next year already.
Right.
Of course, you have Homestead circled if you're one of those 4 drivers competing, but at the same time, you have to get ready for next year, and those teams are getting ready for next year. And a big part of that process is the off-season training, the off-season signings, the off-season restructuring that you're going to have, you know, where you have silly season with the drivers.
Yeah.
You have silly season with the crew members as well. And we're about to hit that.
We discussed that a little bit earlier because we had somebody in whose contract year was almost up. That was going to be the money season. So then, you know,
ended
if
up
he signs
re-signing
for a
with
lot,
the team.
All right. Well,
you know?
there you go.
But
so retained that with him. But what is the rule change that's going to be happening?
Well, what they're doing is they're eliminating the driver-assisted track bar, or the driver-controlled track bar.
Okay.
And what that is basically a track bar mount. You have a left side and a right side track bar mount. The left side track bar mount is mounted to the rear end, actual the rear end housing.
Okay.
The right side track bar adjuster is mounted to the frame of the car, the right side frame of the car. And what that does is control the roll in the car. So long story short, the higher your track bar is, the looser your car will be. So when you hear
right now, drivers control that.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a small adjustment where when coupled with maybe tire pressure or a wedge adjustment at the same time, you could make a big difference in how your car is handling at the racetrack. So whenever you hear a car is too tight or too loose, they have had the capability, the drivers have, to control that track bar and make adjustments to it. So that is being eliminated, where it's going back to the way it was before, where instead of having one hole like you've had this year, which is called the wedge adjuster, you're going to have 2 holes. You're going to have a hole for the track bar on the bottom, and you're going to have a hole for the wedge on the right side. So the crew members are handling that now.
Do you think that that's to, again, level the playing field?
I don't think it's to level the playing field. I think it's
What's
a costly device, you know, and the price of it, of installing these mechanisms in the car, is costly. At the same time, they're malfunctioning.
Okay, I was going to say, because if it's about money, they're going to spend the money to make their cars the best. But if it's malfunctioning, that's a different story.
How many races have you heard the driver has said when you're watching the race, Sam, he's like, well, I'm moving the track bar, but nothing's happening. You know, it's just not working.
Yeah.
Where when you physically have a human being, a crew member, doing the adjustment, yes, it puts a lot of pressure on them. You're adding a step to that, but totally capable of handling it.
Will that slow pit stops down?
It will slow pit stop. Anything that adds
how much?
It depends on your personnel, but at least a second or 2, because you're adding a step in the process. If your process of doing a successful pit stop is 6 steps, and you're adding an adjustment, now you have 7 steps, it is
That's
going to be
costly.
slower.
Yeah.
And there's different ways of doing that.
Yeah.
You know, different teams, and that's what I'm focusing in on in the videos that I'm going to show. It's the different ways the teams are doing it, because
Okay.
that's something they're going to tackle this off season.
Who are these teams? Who
Well,
are these
if you
mystery
can show
men?
video 2, I'll show you the first one. The video 2 is a right side adjustment, and this is the 20 car, but I want you to notice something here. When a rear tire carrier sets this wrench, he does the adjustment as he sets the wrench. Watch, he sets it and does the adjustment. That wrench is specifically designed to be able to do that with one hand. That hole is mounted at the correct angles. A lot of energy and time and research that goes into being able to pull this off.
Right.
So he sets the wrench, he does the adjustment, and as he puts the tire on, he leaves. The changer grabs the adjustment wrench.
All right, so it's a
and
two-man
throws it.
job.
You see that?
Essentially, yeah.
That's
okay.
one way to do it. And
Okay.
there isn't a way. I'm not showing you these ways to show one way is faster than the other.
Sure, it's just
there's
different options.
different options. There's no one right way to do it.
All right.
So as you look at video 3, you're going to see a different variation of that. And you're going to see the number 9 car. He sets the wrench, does adjustment, and look what he does. He sets the wrench.
He yanks it out and
He
throws it.
does the adjustment, and then he throws it. The changer does not have to do that, and then he can leave. The changer doesn't have to worry about getting the wrench.
But if you see, like if we replay that video, the guy, he tosses it to the wall, and obviously nobody's going to catch it. It would hurt to catch. But the guy who reaches down for it over the wall can't get it.
No, he can't.
Watch.
Play that video again.
All right, so he tosses it, and then you see a hand, a rogue hand, come for it and can't get it. So then you risk the potential of somebody tripping over it?
Possibly. Good. That's a great point that you pointed out.
Or getting
right
hit
there.
with it.
Yeah,
when you
absolutely.
throw it.
But guess what, Sammy? I'm glad you pointed it out, because when he threw this wrench,
Yeah.
if it would have went over the wall and not just to the wall, and if it would have went over right there,
And it was close.
it would have been a penalty. Because now you're throwing equipment over the wall.
I'm going to say that I prefer the first one.
So you'll have.
I don't think I want things thrown at me.
You can throw it to the wall.
Just not over.
You can't throw it over, and you saw how
can't
close
just
that
chuck it.
was.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
was.
To throwing it over the wall.
You got lucky
So,
because it kind of bounced back.
as of now, which
into-
way do you like better? You like
the first one.
You like the first way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me show you another
Because
one.
my expert opinion is what's going to determine.
I'm gonna show you when we have to do a left side adjustment. Show
Okay.
video number 4, and when you see number 4, this is the 22 car, and they're doing an adjustment on the left side in the rear tire carrier. Before he goes to the right side, he sets the wrench in the left side of the car. You see?
Okay.
So as they finish up the right side, they progress to the left side. The jack man is then responsible. After he indexes tire now, stands up, and he makes the adjustment and pulls it out. See, he indexes the tire, stands up.
Yep.
He makes it and makes sure he pulls that out. So therefore, the best way to do that with a 5-man, in their eyes, is have the carrier set the wrench for him before he goes to the right side.
But if you see that again, then the, I think it's the front tire carrier, has to pull the jack out.
Yes.
So then that doesn't make sense to me.
Well-
You're complicating it.
Well, here's what
Just handle the jack.
I get what you're saying, but remember we added a step of the adjustment.
True.
This is why an adjustment slows
watch.
the stop down.
Now, front tire carrier has to pull that jack out while
And-
he removes the wrench.
And that's designed. Because
Okay.
we had to add the step of making the adjustment. Nobody's there to drop the jack now
Right.
because he's making an adjustment. The carrier has to drop the jack. And that's by design.
Why couldn't the carrier just pull the wrench out?
Well, he's in the front.
Why couldn't the rear tire?
Carrier. There is no rear tire carrier. Remember, we're 5 guys now.
Well, we've ruined it, guys. We've ruined NASCAR.
No, and like I said, this is a design play.
Right. I still go with the first one.
You like the first one
I
better.
do.
And it's not about being fast or slower than any other
Right.
stop. It's just a matter of, with the personnel that you have, what is the best way we can perform this
For
movement?
sure. Now, I'm not saying the last one didn't go smoothly because there were no slip-ups. There wasn't a glitch at all in that system. I just think it's a smoother system.
Yeah. Well, that is how you handle the right side. The first 2 stops you saw were
Right.
right side adjustments. But if you were doing a left side adjustment,
You'd have to.
you'd have to do it that way. You can't set the wrench on the left side from the right side.
Of
you
course,
know, with
yeah.
one guy. So you
Well,
have
maybe
to
if
do
you
it.
had go-go gadget arms.
Yeah, that would be the only way. But
Right.
what that does, and this is why I say this is going to be so important in the off season, is with the mechanic, the mechanical track bar, the driver control track bar gone.
There's going to be one in the front.
That is going to be two. Yes. There's going to be two adjustment holes on the right side. So now that carrier, he's going to have to decide if the crew chief says, okay, I want one round in the wedge, one round out of the track bar. It's not just one adjustment anymore.
Yeah.
Now it's another adjustment where you're taking that wrench, you're putting one here, you're putting one here. It's going to slow it down even more.
It's going to be an additional hurdle for sure.
Car setup is going to be prime. You know, those who set their car up the best, to the point where you'll always have to make adjustments during the race, but those who have to make the least amount of adjustments can just focus on 4 tires and fuel. They're the ones who are going to be gaining the most spots on pit road.
Well, I want to talk about the adjustment you have to make if you fall. Or if you slip.
We have some slippery pit boxes.
Because that has been.
Can I show you? We got time? Can I show you some of those?
Absolutely. Let's see it.
We have some slippery pit boxes. Show me number 5. And when you see number 5, this is what they mean when they say the box is slippery. Because when you watch the rear tire carrier, boom, right there. And he did a phenomenal job of
looks like he almost slipped on the hose and then got, I don't know what happened with the second
definitely the
fall.
box. It just happens. But how he recovers, indexes the tire and finishes the stop.
I mean, it's like he didn't miss a beat.
That's why these guys are put in the position that they're in, because they can handle mishaps like that. Let me show you another one. If you look at number 6, play video 6, you'll see this happen.
Okay.
And
he really didn't miss a beat.
No, he didn't. Yes, he fell down, but he gathered himself.
It looked like the tire changer was like, what are you doing?
Exactly. That happens.
All right, so if we look at video number 6.
Show me video number 6. They weren't as lucky because they had a penalty called on them for uncontrolled tire.
Oh.
With the 2 tires, the changer just slips up as he's trying to get up.
You can totally tell that that's slippery too.
And that's a timing thing where the jack man,
you sure he wasn't doing the running man? Maybe he's doing choreography. He wasn't? All right.
The jack man is trying to help him out, but it's slippery out there, man. It's
Yikes.
like
gotta avoid those penalties, especially
it's like
right
ice
now.
sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at least they didn't go like this when they felt like somebody I know. All right, we'll be back with more MRN Crew Call right after this.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina is redefining the drive-thru coffee game in Race City, USA. The Clutch experience is quick, efficient, and personal. Unmatched customer service is the name of the game. Clutch Coffee Bar offers signature espresso drinks, classic coffees, custom-flavored infused energy drinks, smoothies, and more. With over 25 flavors, there's something for everyone. Visit our 2 locations in Mooresville, 356 Williamson Road and 154 West Plaza Drive. Open daily 5 a.m. till 9 p.m. Power up today with Clutch Coffee Bar.
When the smoke settles, the entertainment never stops. On race weekend, your favorite NASCAR personality is an everyday superhero.
Chase Elliott is going to victory lane.
But when they leave the track, they're just like us, everyday people.
You know, as I've said before, I'm going to be me. And
I'm Susie Armstrong. Join me on a daily journey as we discuss the hot topics and engaging personalities of NASCAR Nation, the world of racing, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network. Hello, you've reached the Fantasy Hotline. This is Candy. What flavor? Oh, that's the other job. Oh, you've reached MRN Crew Call. Here's Sammi Jo and Rocko.
Welcome back to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. It's the moment we've all been waiting for.
Oh, we have?
Yeah, because I'm boss lady here, okay? But I know that you are not.
That you are.
Out roaming around the world without a real boss lady.
You don't think so?
Oh, I know. Because this lady that we've got, which I think this will be not our first female guest, but our first female call-in.
Yep.
And it's Nicole Lyons, everybody. It is the boss lady of Rocko. And the reason we've got you on is because, well, off-season's coming up, but I don't know if people know this, but she's not just boss lady.
No, she's not just
she
boss lady.
She wears so many different hats.
She does. She wears the hats of boss lady #1, mom #2, race car driver #3, and
businesswoman. She does it all.
Businesswoman #4, and then my mental and spiritual pit crew guidance.
Well,
counselor.
that is a tough job. I don't even know how you have the other ones if that's your main job.
Nicole,
all right, welcome,
thank
Nicole.
you for calling in, boo.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yes, we're so excited. I was like, this is where I can expose all the dirt on Rocko.
No, we're not going to talk any personal dirt whatsoever. Our goal is we're talking off-season here. We're talking all off-season.
Off-season. Nicole, you've been through this a time or two, off-season with Rocko.
It's coming up.
What's that like as the spouse of a crew member?
I think it's different for everybody, depending on, like, if you're super into the racing like I am. So for me, just in the off season, it's like, okay, when does the season start again? It's kind of like that. What are we supposed to do in the off season? Why is there an off season?
It doesn't even feel like there is much of one, though.
Oh, it's long. Trust me, with Rocko being at home, it feels like the longest off season ever.
Really?
Yes, Nicole. Yes.
Really?
You've got more time to break things and
look. I said we weren't going to get
mess
personal
the kitchen
here.
up and do all of that type stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a long off season.
So I know with Rocko, you've got guaranteed job placement, but it doesn't mean you're always going to be on a crew necessarily.
Absolutely.
Nicole, how do you keep him at a mental
zen?
At kind of at peace during the off season.
How do you keep my head right during the off season? And the reason why I asked you that, and just before you start talking about that, is because these crew members,
to know the secret.
These crew members who aren't in the playoffs. I'm talking about the crew members who are thinking about next year, who don't have the capability of winning a championship. They have other things on their mind, correct? And that's what I wanted you to elaborate on, is what do those other crew members have in mind as it relates to these next 3 weeks coming up?
Well, truly, they shouldn't have anything else on their mind, even in the off season, but getting better for the season. Because if you didn't make the playoffs, chances are you probably weren't one of the #1 pit crews out there.
Right.
And that's a pretty set reality. So I would think that if I didn't even make the playoffs, and I'm just saying the playoffs in general. Let's not go to the Final Four and Homestead. But if you didn't make the playoffs, you need to be thinking about how you can get better and looking at footage. And this is a full-time position. This isn't the off season here. Let's just go eat cake and chill out and hang out and.
Wait, is this a direct quote from Rocko? Let's go eat cake.
No, we're not personal here.
It's real serious. I think that you have to take this business, if you want to be dedicated and have numerous years and be respected and gain accomplishments in it, you have to take it as a year-round sport.
Now let me ask you this, because you are so into racing. I've been to a race with you. I've seen you screaming at the big Megatron thing. But what advice do you have for kind of the spouses of these crew members that aren't necessarily as into racing and don't realize how serious the off season is about honing your craft?
My advice would be to basically, you need to know what it is that your significant other is going through job-wise, competition-wise. These positions are not guaranteed positions. This isn't baseball where you're going to get guaranteed money whether you make it or not. This is not a guaranteed position. So every day could be an adjustment, could be a loss of job, could be a move around, could be a money move around because you're now back up or whatever it may be. So they need to, if you're not into the sport, at least the understanding of what they go through mentally on a day-to-day basis of competing in this world that is not a guaranteed anything for tomorrow.
Now, clearly, your work ethic and determination of making sure you're the best you can be for this sport is top of the line. But do you think there's a time to go, all right, you've pushed it too far, you've done all you can do, let's take a breather, let's take a minute off. Is there any of that, or is it just go, go, go all the time?
Well, I don't think you really have a chance to take a breather. It doesn't really allow for it in the sport. I don't see it. I mean, coming from a driver's standpoint to a crew member standpoint, I just don't see that as being really a possibility. I think your breather is Christmas Day or, something like
one
that.
One holiday, right.
Yeah. You got to be focused. I mean, the thing about it is, Rocko can tell you how I am. I'm probably the epitome of a spouse or significant other that you come back to, because I'm texting him prior to a race. I'm texting him, pumping him up, motivating him, trying to get him prepared, get your mind into it, that type of thing. I'm texting during a race, like, what the heck just happened? Why did you just do that?
Right.
What's this? What's that?
Was that a text that you sent when he hurt himself? Did you see that?
Yes, I did see that.
How do you react to that? When you see an injury or something go awry and it has potentially health risks.
I was not injured. I was just seeking attention.
For me, with him, it seems like, and a lot of guys in general, it seems like they don't want to really admit to what's really just happened. And I'm always like, look, you want to be in this for the long haul. You need to go to the in-care. You need to find out what's going on. Like, don't just wrap this thing up and be like, yeah, I'm great, I'm good. It's going to lead to more problems.
For sure.
But it's all about taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and even your at-home life. Like, you've got to feel like you're coming home to somebody who is at least that into seeing you do well, regardless if they're into watching the race like I am, that you can feel like, hey, regardless if they saw the race, they want to see me do well from the start of the race when I'm putting my suit on to the finish of the race when we're breaking down our equipment.
I think it's really interesting because your injury was almost missed or misdiagnosed from the beginning. Was Nicole somebody who told you, look, you should keep on this, go look at it, something else is wrong?
Oh, no, she did, and that was the first thing that she was about. But as an athlete and over-the-wall performer, all I was thinking about was getting back out there.
But to her point, she was going, yeah, you can get back out there now, but you're not going to be able to later if you don't handle the pain.
Look, I'm not unique in this situation. We all do this. Every crew member who's over the wall right now, we are stubborn because we want to compete.
Do you agree with this?
You're stubborn because of the fact that, like I said, this is a non-guaranteed sport. The money that you're used to making may not be there tomorrow. So your contract does not hold weight in terms of, yes, you're going to be here tomorrow, whether you're injured for a year or not. So these guys are they're going to deal with their injuries a lot differently than somebody who's, able to sit, who's being told, hey, you're our number one star. You go ahead and sit out for 3 months. We've got you. We'll put this back up in for right now. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, there's little differences in our sport compared to stick and ball sports as it relates to those injuries. But the main reason that your insight is very great because you're sharing what the other half goes through in the off season, because it's about to get very stressful for a lot of over-the-wall athletes.
For sure, if it hasn't already.
With the next 3 weeks, because with contracts running out, with teams reshuffling, with teams going away altogether, the competition gets ramped up where you want to be signed to a team before Christmas. In preparation for 2019.
For sure.
And that's the process that's coming up within these next 2-3 weeks for majority of the crew members out there. Not even the ones that are in the playoffs and have the opportunity to run for a championship. Some of them at the same time are thinking ahead to 2019, and it all stems on how you prepare for it with this offseason coming up. And there's lots of factors that go into that.
Now, I know you're saying this, but Nicole said, we're going with Nicole's word today. Sorry.
Okay.
And every day, but specifically today on the show, that you should be focusing on the race at hand. ISM Raceway is up next. Because you're only as good as your last quote-unquote game or race.
The best ones are doing that. But majority of them are not.
But does that make you less efficient and less a worse audition?
I think so. Absolutely. If you can focus on what Nicole is saying and on the task at hand and have that tunnel view, yes, you probably will be very successful.
Yeah.
But that is a distinct difference between a lot of the crew members. It is hard to do that with real life situations as a professional athlete, as well as trying to secure a position for 2019 as well.
Okay, I have a hard-hitting question for Nicole, because clearly Rocko married up. Nicole, is there some type of sisterhood amongst the crew wives? She's like, nah.
You got Christy.
Yeah, I wish there was more. You know, I feel like the crew, you know, the crew wives, the girlfriends, significant others, all of that, we go through a lot. And I think that we could be very beneficial and more impactful if we kind of had a tie-in in a group and a networking system to understand what it is that they go through and how to make things better, in a better situation. You know, there's a lot of things you have to factor. Like you want your guy out there doing well, and like I said, you want him focused on the race and in the off season, the next season, and all of those things. But you have to remember, without this being guaranteed, you also want him focused on a plan B.
Right.
Whether that plan B is involved with racing, engineering, any of those things, or whether that plan B is something completely different. You have to be that woman to say, hey, this is not going to be all day, every day. And I think a lot of these crew members start making this money and they start to think, oh, this is great. This is going to be successful. I'm going to do this forever. No, it doesn't work that way. And if you don't have a good networking system, if you don't have the proper things in line, you'll be gone and the next person will be in, and then you'll be working at, you know, BMW Northlake, not to say anything, but, you know, or somewhere.
Instead of in the sport where you want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all about taking this seriously. One thing I think that Rocko did very well, and I advise other crew members to do very well, you see, like when I go out there, one thing I notice is you have a lot of crew members that just, they're off by themselves. They don't really entertain guests, media, things of that nature. They're sponsors. They just do their job, which they're good at, and then they go home. But if you want to excel past this, you need to network. Networking is key. So even amongst the wives and the girlfriends and everybody, we should have some type of networking group.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for being on the show. The rock behind Rocko.
Yes, we'll say that.
All right, and then anything else you guys can talk about when he gets home.
She knows the real deal, though.
Nicole, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I don't know why you waited so long to bring her on the show. We'll be back with more MRN Crew Call right after this.
Grunt style. The American fighting spirit is in everything we make. We are 500 patriots and veterans strong, bringing clothing manufacturing back to the United States of America. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We are Grunt Style, and this we'll defend. Get yours at gruntstyle.com.
Chris Crockett, straight from the NASCAR stands, here with another member of our Toyota racing family, Jason.
Hi there.
Oh, you seem impatient.
Oh, well, I've been holding it in for a while.
A while?
Since it started.
The race?
No, the season.
Wow. Guess you don't want to miss any action.
Nope, I don't.
Oh, did you just see Denny Hamlin take the lead?
I haven't taken my eyes off him.
Jason, you don't look so good. Can I offer you some water?
Absolutely not.
NASCAR and Toyota Racing. With a family like this, who knows the places we'll go in the playoffs? Learn more at toyotaracing.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
MRN.com has you covered. Check out our original digital program, Motorsports Monday, with Joey Meyer and Woody Kane. Wing Nation with Steve Post and Aaron Evernham. NASCAR Coast to Coast with Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse. Crew Call with Sammi Jo and Rocko. NHRA Talk on the Straight Line. Classic NASCAR races on Throwback Thursday. The Inside Line has all your fantasy racing picks. Rip the Fence with Tyler Burnett and Dylan Welch. MRN.com original digital programs.
I know, girl, I know. So right before I transferred the call, I heard Brad Kozlowski say that next week he's planning to announce that... hello? Excuse me? Is someone else on this line? Yes, I'll transfer you immediately to Sammi Jo and Rocko.
Welcome back to MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires and Grunt Style Apparel. Nicole Lyons on the line. She was awesome.
She was awesome. Good job.
I don't even know why you're still here. Like, can we get a sub? Can we sub out for Nicole?
Everybody says that when they meet her.
All right. Well, it has reached that point in the show where
yes.
I've had my clutch coffee with me all day long.
It's that time?
It is.
It's our Clutch Performers of the Week.
Brought to you by Clutch Coffee Bar.
And those two individuals this week are Wade Moore.
Just two?
Yes, Wade Moore and Ryan Flores of Ryan Blaney's pit crew finished second this week, started on the pole. They had the advantage of coming out of having great position on pit road with that first stall, but their lug nut hits and their tire indexes all day and a couple of weeks prior, which is so clutch and so spot on. Those guys are doing an awesome job there.
Probably doing so awesome they need some coffee.
Yes, they do. 2 races left at the end of the year. You know, it's perfect time.
When it counts.
End of the season. They're balling out. Congratulations, guys. You are our Clutch Performers of the Week.
Are you just going to leave one here so you can pick it up for
Ryan
his other
will be
show?
here later, so.
That's right. Okay, and then this weekend is Phoenix ISM Raceway. Friday, we've got the Lucas Oil 150. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern. Our coverage for the Camping World Truck Series. The Xfinity Series will be at 3 p.m. Eastern. That is going to be Saturday. The Wheel Entrusted to Perform 200. And then, of course, Sunday, the Can-Am 500 for the Monster Energy Cup Series. Our coverage starts at 1:30. So, do we have any predictions for ISM Raceway?
Yes, Kevin Harvick's going to win it.
You think so?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Are we betting on this? It's legal now.
You can. You want to?
No.
Throw a dub. Put a dub on it.
No. All right. Kevin Harvick's going to win it. We're putting both of our votes in for that. That would make it interesting.
It would.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the next interesting edition of MRN Crew Call next week.